Okay. All right, welcome to 2017 and Tuesday show.
All lean this way.
I'm Ultra David.
Hey, I'm Sajam. How's it going?
I am Tasty Steve.
And I am not catching this cold.
Dude!
I am not
David.
catching this cold
Wailing
here.
old man cough? Jesus, dude.
There's going to be plenty of that. I'm definitely sick
James
and have been
Chen.
for 5 days.
And how is everyone that's not Ultra David going right now?
My dad sent me a text maybe like a month ago. He was like, make sure you get the flu shot because he's a doctor. It's important. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll do it. And then I forgot. And then here I am with the flu. So
I'm squishing the names even.
there's a flu shot. You should get it.
Did you get it now?
No, you've got the
No,
flu.
I got a flu.
So it's too late? You're just gonna...
No, there's like different varieties of flu that it inoculates against. So I'll get it once I am back to being healthy. But,
Okay. Alright.
He's basically got the flu shot right now. When he
I have
becomes
like for one flu.
Yeah,
like one
exactly.
strain, yeah. I got it. All right. Anyway, so this show is going to be about 2016 and the year in review.
Yeah, sorry, my titles are incorrect.
Just gonna stay a little bit over here.
Yeah, I would do the same if I were you.
FGC.
We're going to talk about our favorite
year.
lists of a whole bunch of things, our favorite players and games and events and stories and all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, we do this every year, so we're continuing it this year, but for the first time, instead of having just me and David here, we have all four of us to be able to give our opinions on all of the things that happened in 2016.
Yep.
So this is just looking back at what a cool year and what a not cool year it's been in 2016 for the fighting game community.
Yeah, but you guys, just before we went live, you were telling me a story.
Dude, keep your hand away
alright.
from me. There you go.
How's this? Is this better?
No, keep it over there.
So glad that this is the seating arrangement.
Yeah, I
that
might have
is-
slept in the same sweatshirt the last 3 days. So.
Oh, come on, man.
Not really.
I don't believe him for a second. You don't throw that kind of thing out on the table without some truth being said.
You know,
You know, I know that game.
you know, remember when David was like, "Oh yeah, no one really washes their hands after they go to the bathroom, right?" This is why.
I'll have you know that I've been doing that religiously over the past 5 days. Just so I
The
don't-
past
And look where that's gotten you. Look where that's gotten you,
That doesn't
David.
help.
Yeah.
You're
That
dying
does
right
not
now
help.
because of the festering of germs. That's what's happening.
germs. So anyway, what'd you guys do for 2016 for the new year? For the 2017 new year, I should say.
Steve and
I was doing nothing, playing World of Warcraft and coughing a lot. So what were you guys doing?
Steve and I hosted an event in New Year's.
I feel like we're in an RPG right now, and
Yeah.
David's like the. Dun, 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 dun,
Yo.
dun, dun.
The three of us are fighting
We're like fighting
David.
This is our battle stances.
I'm not losing any HPs over here.
I think he's already.
He's
lost
already
it all.
inflicted
Yeah.
with death. He's just gonna die.
I already have Doom. When's it gonna pop?
Okay.
So we hosted an event in Times Square. We were like 100 yards from where the ball was.
Right.
And we did a little event for HyperX where we basically just talked about, stuff.
Video games.
With 3 streamers, Lyric, Seagull, and Nothing. And
That's
it was
cool.
super cool. We just hung out. Those guys were all cool to hang out with. It was free alcohol, tons of free food.
Bar.
So did you?
Everybody there had like 10 times more money than us because the tickets, general admission tickets, were $1,500.
What?
And the best view of the night where
What?
we took pictures from there and stuff
Uh-huh.
was $5,000
Yeah.
a seat.
I got baited so hard.
What?
I hung out, I met some girl dancing. And she's like, yeah, come hang out. I'm like, cool. I'm like, where are you guys sitting? They're like, over there. I'm like, those are $5,000 seats.
Can't go there.
Sorry, I don't have the badge to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
so did you guys actually get to see the Mariah Carey debacle
No,
live
no,
then?
No.
What happened?
We could
were
have.
hosting the
Oh,
event.
We were hosting, but we
She
could
had
have.
like her microphone die or oh no, the music like went out and basically she stopped singing even though she was singing, so she wasn't
Yeah.
and like she got mad at the dancers and eventually she was just like, well, it just doesn't get any better than this, and like she was just like
Tries to walk off the stage. They make her come back on the stage to finish. Oh, she got body
Apparently,
so
yeah,
hard.
there's like
Yeah.
her manager put out like a statement that was basically like, yeah, a whole night there was no sound issues, no sound in her ears, so she couldn't hear herself. So she was like, they were complaining to the sound people about it, and they're like, "Oh, it'll work when you go up on the stage. Don't worry about it." So she walks out on the stage and she can't hear anything.
Right.
Sounds like some
That
kind of
sucks.
shoddy production going on
Yeah.
there.
Should have hired
Sucks.
Chris Seglia.
I'm
is
just
what
saying,
man.
Yeah,
That 10 Productions ain't filled in, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
yeah,
That sounds really cool though.
Okay.
yeah. So we hosted an event
That's some
over
major
there.
esports stuff, friends.
It was pretty esportsy. It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was a really good time. Awesome food. Awesome hanging out with those.
Yeah, the
other
free
gamers.
food was great. I rated the food because we were there before anybody else got there, so that's why we got to walk over to the $5,000
Yeah.
ticket area and take pictures and stuff. But then, yeah, the one thing that I got baited really badly about was I saw this thing where Taylor Swift was like
He
like
got
a
baited
loop.
super
There was a
hard.
loop of Taylor Swift videos playing
Shout
in
out
Times
to Mark,
Square.
man. Anyway.
Right, there was like a loop of Taylor Swift videos, and I was like, there must be playing these Taylor Swift videos because Taylor Swift is performing.
Makes sense.
That's what I figured, and I got hella excited.
No,
I was
no.
like,
He got
"Damn,
so
Taylor
excited. He was
Swift
like,
is-"
"Hey,
I
Steve,
saw-
there's like a Taylor Swift here and a Taylor Swift here. Do you think she's gonna perform?"
gotta be
here?"
performing,
I was like,
right?
"I don't think so, dude." He's like, "Are you
Dude,
sure?" I'm
I
like,
saw her.
what?
I saw his tweet, and the first thing I saw was, "Is Taylor Swift performing there?" And I was like, "Oh, Viscant, ha ha ha." And then I looked over, and it was your tweet, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, because I was like, oh shit, is she performing? This is
Are
gonna
you a
be
big
sick.
fan?
Yeah, I think her music's cool, but I just thought it would be sick. I was like, oh dang, is she performing? That would be awesome. Like I was like super like looking
he
forward
got,
to it.
He got extra giddy. Like
Yeah.
I, like it was
Like,
really
hype for
weird
Mariah Carey?
Nah,
You don't care?
because we.
before his time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like your dad's music.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I was
It's
like,
his
eh.
mom's
I mean,
music.
Mariah Carey got body.
I still remember
Yeah.
there was that one American Idol episode where Jennifer Lopez was one of the judges, and one of the contestants comes on and goes like, "Yeah, my mom loves your music," and she was like, "Damn."
Body.
That's how they get you.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Taylor Swift's dope, and I was looking forward to her performing. She didn't, but the free food though, man, I rated the free food. We were there before anybody else because we were at production, so we got in or whatever. And dude, tables and tables of free food. They had like a huge sushi platter that was like all the
And
sushi
we were
you
just
could
going
eat,
in
and we
on
were
the
just like,
sushi.
I grabbed
Aw,
there was like
dude.
5 different kinds of sliders, and I was like,
Ah.
one
Had
of
to make
each.
sure.
So
They
I
had,
just
like,
grabbed
this
one of
grilled
each.
Chicken one. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was good.
There was like a chicken one, like a pork one. There was like that banh mi sandwiches.
I forgot
Dang,
about those.
okay.
And something
Yo,
else, and
this
I grabbed
place
all the
was decked out,
sushi.
yo.
I grabbed all the foods, and I tried one of it. I told Steve, I was like, I gotta try one of everything, and then I'll come back for whatever I like after, and that's
Yeah,
what I did.
makes sense, yeah.
So-
He was definitely going in on the food. I had about like 10 glasses of champagne.
yeah, this guy had at
Yeah.
least 10 glasses of champagne.
I
It's
knew
open
like
bar.
It was open bar.
Awesome.
I had a nice. Her name was Cammy. Oddly enough. With
Oh,
a K.
the
Yeah.
the one right by next to our room, right? Yeah.
It was really
She was
nice.
cool.
Okay.
That sounds like quite a story.
Yeah.
A little
Sounds like
esportsy.
But that's cool
Pretty
that you
much.
guys got this to be in Times Square
Yeah,
for
sure.
New Year's. you
No,
know.
it's impossible to get into Times
Well,
Square
I
for
just
New
think
Year's.
at least
It
you
took
were
us
in
an
the
hour and a
area.
half
At
to
least you were in
walk.
the area.
Like 2 blocks.
So
What?
the walk from our hotel to
Ooh,
the
okay,
venue,
never mind,
the walk to
never
the
mind.
It was
our
the
hotel
worst.
to the venue is 10 minutes because we walked home and it's
Uh-huh.
only 10 minutes. But to get there through Times Square with all the cops and everything, hour and 20-minute walk.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
really bad. Like each block you go
That's-
to, there's like police officers, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't let you in here." I was like, "But we need to go right there." They're like, "So does everybody," and I'm like, "Well,
So that's basically why people, when they go to New York Times Square, they do it like a day or two early.
oh
and
yeah."
just camp there,
Like
right?
if you go look at like some of
Yeah.
the photos we took, like
There's a billion people.
it's
down
like so
I
many
bet.
people that they look like ants. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Ugh.
like the way we did it is like if we're here and the event's here, instead of being able to just walk there, we had to like walk.
So like leave
Around
out, walk
like
up
that.
this way, make a right, go
Yeah,
down like
that
5
sucks.
blocks, make another right. You
We
know?
had
sucks.
we had like 20 extra blocks to walk because of the way it worked out. It was really unfortunate.
Well, I really want to also talk about the Japan trip as well, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to let's save that for the end. Then let's
Sure.
talk about that a little bit at
Okay.
the end. Because what we want to talk about, obviously, is the fighting game community in 2016.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all the awesomeness that has happened and all the not awesomeness that has happened in 2016 for fighting games.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we do this every year, so we have a bunch of different categories.
I have it all on my phone.
And lists.
Oh yeah, mine's also on my
So,
phone.
which categories are we going over?
So let me bust out the categories for you here real quick. The categories are going to be Player of the Year,
Okay.
This is for any game, obviously. Match of the year for any game. Fighting game of the year.
Ooh, not necessarily newly released.
Right,
Just fighting game of the year.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense now.
Yeah,
But all right.
Maybe we should have explained
Yeah,
this.
probably. Event of the year.
Yeah.
Story of the year, which is like whatever, like things that have been happening, what we thought was important for the year.
Okay.
FGC member of the year. This is not necessarily a player. This is like, people who write, who do production work, or just overall do great things for the fighting game community. Newcomer of the year, which is anything. We don't care if it's a person, a game, or what.
Okay.
We just call it Newcomer of the year. This is kind of where it starts getting to more of the humorous kind of, we get to have fun kind of thing. The Random Select Award, which is if there's anything that we just wanted to talk about.
Yeah, anything else.
Anything else that we're like,
Okay.
you know what, I really needed to talk about
That didn't fit in any of the other
Yeah,
categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is the personal FGC resolutions
Yeah.
for 2016. That is our
I mean,
resolution.
for 2017.
2017, you're right.
Yeah.
Type 16, okay. So there you go. Those are our categories. So
Okay.
I figured let's just go in that order. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, let's go big. Let's just
Do it.
start big, right?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to do it like so we go through all of our number 3s, all of our number 2s,
Yeah,
all
I
of our
think
number
that would
1s,
make
like
sense,
how
yeah.
we used to do?
All right.
Okay. All right. So, fighting game player of the year. 3 obviously is the third most important, but first
Yes.
number 1 is the most important.
Right.
What order should we do this in?
You can just get it going. We'll
Okay.
do a little round here.
I'll start. Okay, I'll start. My number 3 player of the year was Hungry Box.
Oh, okay.
I put Hungry Box there because he took Evo. He was winning all at the beginning of the year for Melee.
Yeah.
And, dude, the way that he won Evo was ridiculous. Like, that was just the most amazing match, and he just had a bunch
Super
of cool
good.
stuff. And then, of course, in 2017, he breaks his hand in dodgeball, and he can't go to Genesis 4.
I saw
So
that. That's crazy.
Body.
I blame Javale for
Like,
that.
did that just happen?
Yeah, he literally showed an X-ray where he has a chip in his finger, and he's like, I don't think I can play.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh well.
What a dummy.
But Hungry Box,
Yeah, you gotta insure those fingers.
Yeah.
was my number 3 pick because I thought not only that, but he
Play some video games.
it always had been Mango and Armada, and then he snuck in there. He was 2 years in a row second place at Evo. Now finally first place. Hungry Box is my number 3. Who's your number 3, Steve?
Okay.
My number 3 is Lost Soul.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, and a lot of, I guess the anime community, for me.
Well, someone said that he is going to go, and he's just hoping to use his middle finger instead. So.
Oh my god.
He's gonna
Okay,
just
good
try
luck.
to not use his index finger or whatever
Good
it is.
luck. Anyways, continue. Lost Soul.
So
Sorry.
Lost Soul, because in the anime community, not largely known for their online-only players. Lost Soul coming out of seemingly nowhere, especially to the people not familiar with them on the East Coast. We are all on the West Coast. Did an amazing job. Took some tournaments from other people and definitely made some waves in the anime community, especially Guilty Gear community, as one of the better, if not the best, players in a lot of instances involving
cool.
Guilty
He
Gear.
was one of my newcomers last year.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Newcomer.
For sure.
My number 3 was Sonic Fox.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is ridiculous. He wins all the things. He cost me buying James dinner at Sujita, so I didn't think he was gonna win ESL again for
You
some
bet
reason.
against Sonic Fox?
Just 'cause, like,
doing?
mostly for the
You
entertainment.
just felt like helping out your friend James.
Yeah.
They wanted to buy him dinner.
It
That's
really
all they had to say.
it was one of those things where it's like there was no bet because everybody thought Sonic Fox would win. So I was like, I'll take the
Do
field.
you like that, Steve?
I tried. So yeah, Sonic Fox.
Look at the one with David.
Steve
That
is
one's
happy
good.
with
Yeah.
his new emote here. So.
That one
That
is
is
good.
cool.
The arms go with everything.
Yeah,
It's a really good
uh-huh.
emote.
Okay, alright.
So Sonic Fox was my player of the year, or third place
player, yeah.
player of the year.
My
Okay.
my player of the year is Player 1 for taking so much control that in Street Fighter 5 they doesn't even let Player 2
That's not
decide
a
whether
real
to
person.
rematch.
That's your third place.
Yeah, that was my third place.
But also, I think
Player
it was
1.
that like he was also like entered 17 times in like the Red Bull Battlegrounds in that bracket that they had, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was,
that's
like, he was,
right.
like,
Remember?
player
Yeah,
one.
that's right.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Yeah.
There you go.
27. All right.
Should we move on? Can we move on? Can we move on? Can we move on?
Okay.
Fun
Okay.
fact about that: when Brad and I play we do that. I'll like rematch at my house and it'd be like, bro, I didn't give you the thumbs up, man. You can't just rematch on me. I'm like, I'm sorry. We go back to character select. We redo
Take
it.
a breath, think about it.
And now we've done that. We've moved on to the AOK. This is the 2017. This one.
Well, you can't do that because that's bad in like Brazil. Like
Oh,
if we do
really?
that to Berlino, like Berlino's gonna punch us in the face. Dude, so.
You got this one. There's all kinds. You know this.
Okay.
There's
Tubular.
new ones. Yeah.
You're tubular? I'm tubular. Start the match.
All right, James.
All right, number 2. My number 2 player of the year, and honestly, weirdly, I mean, this was a hard decision for number 2 and number 1 for me. But my number 2 player of the year is Saint.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good
Because
stuff.
Really?
he took,
Okay.
because he took Evo and then he took the Tekken. I mean, that's basically like you won Evo
Right.
and you won Capcom Cup,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
for
it's the same
Tekken
thing,
7.
yeah.
So I gave it to Saint because that is a difficult accomplishment, and I think he played super well during. Tekken 7 is not on consoles yet, but you know, it's just the still to be able to get that accomplishment. I think was really really cool. For
Okay,
me.
okay.
So.
I would say, not in similar fashion, but in game similar fashion, E-Circus, Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
This dude
Okay,
went.
okay.
That's a
They
good
said,
one.
"Hey,
That's a good one.
how good are you at Tekken? I'm so good that I'm going to relinquish my spot and continue to enter these tournaments because I'm that damn good."
Yeah.
And people came by the slew to try and stop this guy.
Yeah.
And he won it every time. Even when it was some new little Majin thrown into it, speed kicks, his future teammate was thrown into it. Like, it was always a thing for him to have to. Rip was one of those contenders. Like, there were so many people that came out to try to stop this dude from winning first place. And it was not easy, but he did it. Especially in every tournament that he entered. So he does get
Super
my
cool,
number 2
yeah.
for the year.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see that tweet they're talking about,
Yeah,
Saints tier list, where he
Oh,
said,
yeah.
like, S tier was whoever you want to play. Like, just follow your heart and play who you
Uh-huh.
want to play. I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All I'll say is
can
that
play.
is
He's
that,
wrong, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
it's definitely
not real
wrong.
too.
I was just about to say, Cien's
If you
reading,
believe,
Cien
guys.
is reading that tweet and he's just like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
mother.
Talk to me when you played Q for 8 years. Let me know when you've done that.
Oh man. So who's your number 2, Mr. Ultra? Oh,
Good try.
did I skip you?
Yeah.
Come on,
Sorry,
David. What do you got?
sorry.
My number 2
It's
was
the voices threw me off.
mhm.
So yeah.
good cover. Infiltration was my number 2.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
infiltration.
okay.
I think you can't undersell this man's dominance in the first half of 2016. Like, to me, it was just crazy. Like, to have that run that he had from the start of Street Fighter V all the way to Evo, super impressive. Like, everybody's scrambling to learn the game, and he, to me, was super impressive with how quickly he learned it,
Yeah.
and that he managed to maintain until Evo.
He definitely learned it faster than anybody else.
Yeah, which I think is really impressive.
For sure.
Especially since Nash is really not as good as everybody thought. Right?
I've been saying that since the
I know.
beginning, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's so good. No, he's
Yeah.
not.
A lot of
No, he's
people-
not good.
Steve,
A lot of people
Steve,
said that.
Steve.
A lot of people
Yeah.
said
People
they were like, yeah. A
called
lot of
me
people
crazy.
were like,
Steve,
They
no,
called me
Steve,
crazy.
I think I called you crazy.
It's
at
okay.
one
Yeah.
point.
Steve, it's okay. It's
yeah.
okay.
So he's
I think I
my
did.
he's my number 2 player just because. Come on,
Yeah, that
infiltration
makes
is
sense.
ridiculous.
My number 2 player is NuckleDo. Yeah,
okay.
it's the first time that I can ever recall thinking that an American is the best at whatever is the best, like whatever is the biggest fighting game of the moment. Never thought an American is the best at anything. Like, it's just not me. In fact, I don't know that an American has been like top 5 legitimately.
Oh, no.
But he probably is the best in the biggest fighting game in the world right now, and that's first. So hats off to him. I think that's super great.
Okay. Yeah. And that's why I was saying I had a hard time trying to decide between my number 1 and number 2. My number 1 is NuckleDo because that is such a crazy accomplishment. You know, like look, Europe got there before us when Luffy took Evo, right?
Right.
So like America has always been kind of the whipping boy, you know. So like to have him actually do that, and not only do that, but do it in such a dominating fashion. Like it was clear that he got to the point that he was
Yes.
better than everyone
Oh,
else.
yeah.
And then also, I have to give him. The thing that put it over the edge is because I know the kind of year NuckleDo had.
Right, could have gone
So-
very differently.
Right, to get over all the personal issues that he had and everything like that, to come back and become the best player in the planet for Street Fighter V, which has the most competition for all the games, is really impressive for me. So he is my player of the year.
Well, also my player of the year. For all those reasons, plus the fact that, like what you said, like before, for him being your number 2, if you look at the time that we're in of Street Fighter,
Mm-hmm.
NuckleDu being the best, the unequivocal best. There's nobody else out there that's showed the progression that he's made on top of beating the people that he's beat consistently, as well as had the tournament showing to back it up as well. I mean, the only closest person that we would have would be, say, a Justin Wong, because consistently placing, he is from the United States. On top of that, he's just a really good player in almost every game he plays. But the fact that NuckleDu went to every tournament he went to, he was like, nah, man, you know why I'm here. Get comfortable. I'm trying to win this tournament. And the fact that he stuck to his guns. He played the same characters. He just continued to evolve his tech. As far as like as player of the year, I feel like there's nobody else that even remotely gets close to
I mean, he got sent to losers bracket first round, remember, in the top 16 of Battlegrounds, and still came in all the way.
and still came back and won.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
He said he was like, I feel like me and Tokido's grand finals. So I had to play him first round, and that's grand finals. It ended up being grand finals. Same beat him. That's sick.
Well, who's your number one?
NuckleDu.
Yeah.
So David, change things up. Tell us who's the player.
Well, did you want to add anything about that? Or?
You guys handle it. I don't think there's anything else I need to say.
Okay.
I definitely thought about putting him number one. I ended up going with Sonic Fox.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, he was the best in MK. There was a time when like the NRS scenes were terrible, and him being the best was like, who cares? Because there just weren't that many good players. But it's not really the case now. There's a lot more good players, and on top of that, he played Street Fighter V for like 40 days, and he got top 8 at final round in his like first ever tournament in it, and then he didn't put any time in it anymore. But I think that like that shows that he's ridiculous. I think that's it. But yeah, it was a close one between those two.
Okay, cool. Shall we move on to, what was the next category here?
Match of the year.
Match of the year, or do you guys want to take a break first, or what do you want?
Yeah, we can just continue.
Okay, let's do match of the year. All right, so number 3, match of the year. Now, normally when I pick match of the years, it's always like this super close, super hype match. It's always like, or something significant.
Yeah, we got
like
the same
that
one.
kind of thing.
Right.
What's that?
We got the same one anyway. Continue.
Yeah, my number 3 match is the complete opposite. It is NuckleDu versus Xiaohai.
Yeah.
That whoop at Capcom Cup. That whooping in 6 minutes was unprecedented.
You have the same one?
I have the same one for third, yes.
Because NuckleDu, I mean, look, Xiaohai was considered, might have been the best at that time, you know, and then he was going into Capcom Cup really strong. Sure, he had lost to NuckleDu already, but everyone's like, I mean, he told us at Canada Cup, he's like, oh, I didn't know the matchup.
Yeah.
And so, okay, here he comes,
You
coming
expect him
back.
to put the work in, you know.
Didn't happen.
No,
so
nothing.
Still lost at U-League also to him.
That's
with
right,
a nerfed Mika. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so,
with the nerfed Mika.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Who's
she's
the same
definitely
in the
nerfed.
corner.
That's
she is nerfed.
I'm just being a douche when I do this.
So
She's
yeah,
definitely nerfed.
that's my number 3.
Yeah, he told us afterward that he just knows how Xiaohai plays. That's all. He just watched him a lot. He knows how he plays.
says that he knows the players that he's the fan of the most.
Yeah.
So he was a fan of Infiltration. He was also a fan of Xiaohai. And
Yeah, all you gotta do is know how
that's
Xiaohai
what
plays,
happened.
that's all.
Yep.
All right, man.
Well, my third match for match of the year is Xiaohai versus Buchenstyle in Wednesday Night Fights.
Oh my god. Forgot about
It
that.
was too much. It had so much.
Had mixed stability over here.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I look at that and I'm just like, man, that Buchenstyle guy, like, I actually have to greet him. Like, I greet him and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? Like that's what he's done for himself. Nothing can ever take that away. And on top of that, I knew what was happening in Xiaohai's head. I said it during commentary. It was like, this guy's gonna continue to do it, and you're gonna keep getting hit by it. Like
he out Xiaohai Xiaohai.
Exactly. With Rashid. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cause man, anyways,
Sure,
I just
sure.
for me that definitely that deserves a top 5 spot.
Okay.
I have Tokido versus Infiltration from CEO.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dang. I forgot about. Yeah. Okay,
That match was like the turnaround. You know what I mean? There's so much about that match that was really sick. Like, obviously, Tokido had the parries that were really good, like on EX Moonsault, plus the forward roundhouse media that he parried, and like he closed out with perfect. He had like the parry on the Wake Up Super, like he had all that kind of cool stuff.
Right, yeah.
But more importantly, it was like the first time Infiltration looked like he was in trouble in all year. Like nobody was really making him bleed his own blood, and then also just because. Man, right before Evo, it made it like, oh man, it's Infiltration done. Like, oh, we don't know, and then he wins anyway. But it was like such a sick set to watch. That one is my number 3 for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I have
Oh,
Shao
yeah, the
versus
same
Duke.
one. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you wanted to add about that? Or?
No.
Okay. My number 2 match of the year was Sonic Fox versus Tekken Master Grand Finals.
Ah, yeah.
Evo.
We have the same list.
Are you serious? That's your number 2
That's
as well?
also my number 2.
Here, you talk about it then. You commentated it, so
okay,
you
yeah,
tell
sure.
me what. Because look, I just Sonic Fox took off his hat. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
So
mean,
go
no,
for it.
like it's so rare that Sonic Fox has to worry in tournaments. It's very rare that he loses. It's only happened a couple of times over the last
Yeah.
year. And Tekken Master is like not a nobody. People knew that he was good, but he comes from a scene in Bahrain that's like really small,
Right.
and he doesn't get to travel that often. And somehow he made grand finals of Evo. He's like the number 2 player in the world all of a sudden. So that was nuts, and that he reset it even was crazy, and that he caused enough trouble that by winning the game after that Sonic Fox felt like he had to like remove his headwear for the first time ever. I thought that moment Sonic Fox like recognizing that he was in trouble and like removing the headgear was like as much of a like noteworthy moment as anything that happened in the actual game.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. Shout outs to both of those players.
Number 2 for you.
So my number 2 happened at the North American Tekken Finals. It was actually a match between Rip and Kane.
Oh.
Dude, I was like, small story. I was tasked with like relaying anything sick that happened to the 10-0 production crew who ran the event.
Okay.
And I was watching on the corner. So it's like, and the thing is about it that made it all the more intense was Rip was like, dude, like, Kane's so good. Like, I'm not going to beat this dude. I'm like, come on, man. No, you can't think like that. You got to go in with the eye of the tiger. He's like, man, dude, Kane's so good. He started crying and slobbing. I had to go get tissue. I was like, Rip, man, you got to come on, dude. You got to hold it together. And what happened, the match that ensued after that was so spectacular. Like, it blew my mind. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, some of the stuff that was happening, some of the evasive properties, the slow motions that happened, man, it was ridiculous. Like, it got higher and higher as I watched them play. Like, I almost fainted. Somebody record. I was on the side. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? It was so good. And nobody saw the whole match. Like, they didn't see the Rip reaction to him, like, freaking out and looking around like he was in a roller coaster. He was like, oh my God, you know? It was such a good match. If you get the chance, go back and look at that match, because, oh man, that was such a visual display. It was ridiculous.
You know how Rip is, like, with all these kinds of things.
Rip that guy puts a lot of emotion into any celebration that happens because of the result of the match. No matter what. I've seen it multiple times, and it's always good.
His reactions are too good.
Yeah.
So, my number 2 match of the year was Knuckle Dew versus Tokido at Red Bull Battlegrounds.
Okay.
That was, you know, Dew looked really good before that, but that was the one I think where people were like, damn, this guy's legit. Like, that was such a good match to watch, especially after it happened first round of the tournament.
Yeah.
You might want to pause that so there's no echo, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It happens to me all the damn time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thanks, Twitch. So, what's called? The damn panels don't work. Trust me. What's called?
Tasty Steve versus Claw Machine.
Oh, man. I saw somebody in there say Sejam versus Sejam Segways. I beat that guy's ass.
Really?
I beat him. It was, oh, man, he's good. But, yeah, Dew versus Tokido at Red Bull Battleground to me was such a sick match to watch. I feel like the matches I always enjoy the most are the ones that I actually get to watch in person.
Right.
When I'm not commentating. Like, commentating the match, I feel like is always really good. But when you get to watch it as a spectator, as a fan, there's like that extra feeling of like, it was so good. And man, we were popping off for America. I'll tell you, we were going nuts for America. Like, it was not even for Knuckle Dew, it was for freedom. Like, everything we were yelling. To hear the crowd in that match sounds special to me because, like, he jumped at Dew, and Dew down fierced him, and I heard people in the crowd yell freedom. And I was like, they're like, you can't jump in on freedom? Or they were just, every time there was an anti-air, someone would yell, freedom! And I was like, oh, it made the match a little special to me that every time I watch it, I just think about it, and it's such a sick match.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I had the same number 2. So do we have the same number 1, I wonder?
Maybe.
Look, there's only one match this year that made me cry. for that long.
Oh yeah.
And so my number one match of the year is Hungry Box versus Armada Grand Finals at Evo.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Because
That was a good one.
that one was ridiculous. There were at least 2 times once in the first set and once in the second set, that Armada was pretty much on stock point, and it was like, well, okay, congratulations to your second place again. And Hungry Box would make the most ridiculous comeback.
Yeah, that was sick.
And his reaction afterwards, just the way that, how, like, he started crying on stage. And I thought it was cool because it kind of validated that Liquid also hired his coach to come and help him with that. And like I said, that I was like crying for like 15 minutes afterwards.
That's true.
So much to the point that Toph and Bobby Scar were just like laughing at me. They're just like,
True.
"Are you still crying, James?" Like, seriously.
That happened.
Yeah.
We're like about to go on. I was like, James.
Yeah, I know.
Wrap it up, James. Put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that was probably the most hype I've ever. And it's like you said, when you watch a match, like, I lose my voice more from when I watch matches than when I'm actually commentating them.
Right.
And that one, like, I almost lost my voice before Evo Top 8. So.
Okay.
So.
What do you got?
All right, I have a 3-way tie.
What?
And with
Can't do that.
you never. That wasn't in the rules. I have a
Okay,
3-way
fair enough.
tie.
All
Now,
right.
because I have
You
a
didn't
3-way
say.
tie, because I have a 3-way
may be
tie,
implied, but all
I'm
right.
only going to say the matches, and I will not go into how.
There were 3.
There were 3
There are 3
instances
spots.
in which I was freaking
There's
out.
1, 2, 3.
Look.
You could have just taken your
Yeah,
3-way tie.
that's how it works.
And just
So,
have those be your
no,
3.
no.
Okay, yeah, all right.
He gets
yeah.
5.
Yeah, you got
Box
5. You
versus
got it.
Armada, of course.
Okay, all right.
That's
do it.
one.
Okay.
Also, it was Elvin Shadow at CEO 2016 in Guilty Gear versus
Kazunoko?
yes versus
Yeah,
Kazunoko, because that was crazy. And then it was Tekken NA Finals, the last chance qualifier when people had been playing for like 15 hours. And the last match of the day was for Spirogen versus Reno Face to get into the last spot. When I tell you, like, people actually screamed they will bow, and the entire room would
That's awesome.
scream every time.
That's awesome.
Like, those 3 matches had so much hype. Like that's why I couldn't separate them, because I was like, yo, this has to be the sickest match of the year. And then I'm like, oh damn, the Armada box. Oh, I can't forget about that. And then I was like, oh damn, the Guilty Gear. So it's like that's my 3-way tie.
Okay, see, I did that for you.
Nice in the chat.
All right. That's a pretty good list. So I have a 5-way. No.
I was like, damn, the
Yeah,
what?
what the hell, dude? My match of the year is from Capcom Cup, Daigo versus Sako.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
this
Yeah.
match to me was such a grind. It was such a
That's true.
long
That's
match,
true.
first of all, and it went down to final round of like every single game. It was like a super crazy grind. There were so many clutch moments. Like, Sako had this crazy, like, 90% comeback at one point. Daigo had some crazy Ume moments. Like, it was such a dope set. It was so
And he
good.
basically lost it on an execution error, right?
It was not an execution
Oh,
error.
was it?
What happened is Sako had been doing this the whole set, which is where he would do low forward, and you can lay cancel as Chun-Li. So you do low forward, see it hit, and then hit confirm legs. Do low forward, see it hit, and hit confirms. Like,
right.
he had been doing that the whole set. And so the
Right.
last time he hits Daigo from mad far. Low forward, he sees it hits. Hit confirms the legs, and it just whiffs in his face. Because
it just was ranged.
the cosmic lords above saw Umehara, and in his time of need, our lord was saved.
Because he had
And it just whiffed by that much,
Because
dude.
he had the meter for EX. Like, he had just gotten it. And so I thought that's what he was going for, and he messed up.
I don't
on
know.
that,
Maybe
but-
maybe he tried EX, but he had been hit
Yeah.
confirming regular legs
Yeah.
the whole
The
time.
entire
Yeah.
time. That's right.
And like the cosmic
Right.
beings aligned it so that the Twitch Supreme Chancellor of the Universe, it just missed, and then he killed him, and I was like, what? Like, I could not handle it. Like, afterwards, for like 5 minutes, I was still thinking about that whiff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, it was the craziest match. That was such a sick match. 2 players that I'm a super big fan of. And it's a really fun matchup to watch.
True.
Because 90% of it, Daigo's just getting hit by fears. And then he lands like some sweep or some Tatsu, and you're just like, oh my god. Don't do it, Daigo.
Right.
Don't do the man dirty. But yeah, it was a sick set.
Okay.
My number 1 was Saint versus Chanel at
Yeah.
Tekken
Oh,
7.
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
At
that was
the
super good.
Global Grand Finals or whatever.
That was good.
That set was sick.
Yeah, I thought that was best. It was just the first of all, like, I really like watching Tekken 7 That's super cool. But just the back and forth of it, when it seemed like Saint was like he was just gonna get dunked.
Yeah.
It was just gonna be like it's over. And the comeback, sort of like within the comeback that happened, I thought that was
It was
really
crazy.
He
remarkable.
beat him
So-
5 games straight, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when he started making the comeback.
So I didn't get this because I wasn't here obviously to talk about like the Tekken World like finals
Yeah.
thing. So like we were talking about like Saint playing Nobi, and it was like a bit of a thing because when Nobi went up to play, Saint wanted to play on a very specific Korean stick. Now normally they had never allowed this before. Normally you had to play on whatever was there, even if you were from a foreign country, and this was the first time they actually allowed it. That goes for the people who played on pad as well. So Anakin and whoever else got to play on pad, which goes for the European guys too, they actually played on pad, was actually allowed to play on pad. So when Saint went up there versus Nobi, the match he lost to put him in losers, he felt like he lost that match because he was
wasn't
not
playing
playing
on his own stick.
stick.
The interesting thing to note that maybe people don't know is that almost every Korean player that plays on like top player that plays on Korean stick has their own stick. Like
Yeah.
they have their own. Like Infiltration has his own specific brand of lever that only he plays on. Like that's like his thing that they're gonna sell. They're gonna start selling it. I heard, but yeah. So a lot of the Korean players play on their own.
Yeah.
Like it has its own specific like weight and like range and pull and stuff like that. So him
Yeah,
playing
we
on
used to do that back in the day.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
cool if
know.
it came back.
So him not playing on his own stick is like
Yeah.
it's a real thing
You
because
can
he's
count
used to like moving a certain way, and so like yeah.
Right.
So him pulling out the fact that he had to fight Nobi on the stick that wasn't his, loses that match to play Chanel on the actual working stick, which actually happened.
He played
at the
Nobi
event.
again. He played Nobi again,
yeah.
and he got to play on his
And
own
he got
stick.
to play on his own stick,
and he beat
that's when he
Nobi.
beat him. So no, that's you saying that match and then the touch and go back and forth and actually talking to Saint afterwards about it. He was like, "Yo, man, once the reset hit, it got dicey, but I was sure I was gonna win." Like that's what
Wow,
he said. He
okay.
said it got
Okay.
dicey.
Because
didn't
even
look like
when
he
he
was
went
sure,
up,
man.
yeah, he was like,
Didn't look like he was sure.
yeah, exactly. So
Would you say that would have made your top 6?
Oh, that's definitely.
Is that in your top 6?
That's up there. That's
forgot
but
about
it was a.
I forgot about that.
I have so many
top
matches.
9?
Like there's a few. My
yeah,
top
if you
five
gave him
is
one
tied.
extra match, he would have 5 more matches.
Yeah.
So don't do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
okay.
want to move on to the fighting game of the year? And we'll take a break after that.
You want to do a break after that then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. No
Fighting
problem.
game of the year.
Fighting game of the year was one of the hardest ones for me.
Yeah, this is a
because
super hard one to
I
do.
really honestly wanted to give it to like nothing. I just wanted to have an empty list.
Boy.
Because I was like, I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I'm
think that's one of the
super,
major
super
things.
frustrated right now. And my number 3 game is Street Fighter V.
Okay.
I put it on there only because of the 5,000 entrants, because of
Yeah.
the Capcom Cup $230,000, 2 ESPN showings, all the stuff like
More like
that.
community stuff.
Right, but obviously just mind-blowing on problems. So like I really kind of wanted to make a statement and just not put it on the list at all, but the problem is
Boom!
it had
No thumbs up.
it had so much, it did so much during the course of the
Yeah.
year that I
Yeah.
couldn't not put it on the list. So you know what? I'm just going to put it at the very bottom of the list.
Okay. Fair enough.
So my number 3 game is Street Fighter V.
Okay.
My number 3 game is actually Killer Instinct.
Okay, good stuff.
Okay.
And
That's what
I'm
I'm talking
gonna
about.
say that because not because of Sajam here, but just because even though Killer Instinct has been out for a while now, I think it's the longest of the games that we're even like
just
remotely
came out in March.
playing. You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's I
far
feel
as I
like
know.
For you, dude.
you know,
Oh yeah, season 3 released in March. So
the fact that I feel like they have a better approach to balancing their game, the releasing of characters.
Kilgore came out today.
Yeah,
The
I would love to talk about that, but we probably won't have time. So.
The fact that they're still releasing characters and they're giving you all these options, as well as how vocal a bunch of the devs are, you know, Keats and all those guys. I really like the fact that they try to get in with their community as well while making this game. Constant updates, constant addressing of stuff, the Shadow Lords mode being added in. The innovative characters that they put in, even though I'm not the biggest fan of a bunch of the guest characters, I will say how innovative they play definitely makes the game stand out a lot more. And as good as I am not at that game, I really like to watch and still sort of kind of play Killer Instinct.
You can kind of fix that, you know. You're sitting next to a guy who's pretty good at the game.
I know, man. He's
So-
a busy guy, though, man. He's
Tasty Steve, his third game of the year was Killer Instinct. My third game of the year was Guilty Gear.
Ah,
Ooh.
lovers, lovers.
It's Guilty Gear because, first of all, I love watching Guilty Gear. I'm such a big fan. But the main way it won me over this year was that it finally released on PC.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even begin to explain how happy I am that Revelator is finally on PC. God damn, I am pleased with that. And I'm really just happy that the game is super sick to watch. I watch Guilty Gear Finals at like every event that it happens. I think the characters are all sick. Like the music, I listen to music all the time.
Soundtrack's sick, no doubt.
Which is one thing I like
Looks
about KI a
beautiful.
lot also. Yeah, the game looks incredible. It's a super dope game. I'm really happy that they're finally releasing it on PC, and the hope is that if there's a new version or like a new Guilty Gear or whatever, that it keeps up to date on the PC
Yeah.
release, and it would be
Right.
crossplay. That's the
Oh,
dream.
Yeah.
That would be the dream. But
be
yeah,
cool.
Guilty Gear gets my number 3 spot. Super amazing game. Guilty Gear community is awesome, and I'm really happy with the game.
Okay.
All right, here's the text that I wrote. The subsection of Street Fighter V where you're in a match playing against other persons offline, not the part before that or the part between games where you have to give a thumbs up or playing online, but the actual gameplay, I will give third place.
Damn, just to the gameplay alone. You just validated one of my choices
That's it.
by doing that.
Yeah.
Like, and I will
That's
get
it.
to that.
Yeah. That's very similar to kind of what
Yeah, I thought about saying KI as well, but I put that in other categories instead.
Okay.
My second place game of the year is in fact Guilty Gear Revelator, mostly because that's how you put out a game.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Like you put out a game, unlocking things is fun. Even the fishing is like fun. I don't know why it's fun, but it is. But like the tutorials, they have an FAQ built in the game. They have options. Dude, I just saw that they actually track how many hours you spend in training mode. I didn't even know that was a thing because someone tweeted out a picture from FAB and it was like 146 days and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah
Oh my
of like training
God.
mode. Yeah, not even exaggerating.
elaborate
It was
right there.
146 days or something like that. And so like that's
Play a
how,
better
like,
character, man. 146
I know.
days with a good
Yeah, I know,
character,
right?
you'll be destroying the universe.
The tutorial is super
Tutorial's
good.
great.
The training stuff is super good. The training mode is good, and of course, I just love the game. I've always loved the game. I'm shite at it right now, and I really want to get better at it. But it is. I've always loved Guilty Gear, and so I just from that and the fact that it's such a beautiful pack. Like I mean, this was obviously last year. But man, the freaking demo like was
Oh, that
a full
was the
game,
best thing.
That's right, yeah.
That was so good.
Ridiculous.
The
so.
demo for Revelator
Well,
is
the
better
pre-order
than
bonus. I
it's
should
better
say.
than anything Street Fighter
Yeah,
did.
uh-huh.
Yeah, the
Oh.
demo was 100% better.
Like, seriously, like, come on.
It's number 2.
My number 2 is Guilty Gear as well. Like,
That's what I'm talking about.
it has to be. I mean, with all those things, like, on top of the fact that, just the way the game kind of resurged, like, out of nowhere. It was like on a 15-year hiatus or something. And it was like, new game. And it was like, can it be that good? And then you see it, and you're like, Jesus, that's beautiful. And then you're playing it, and you're like, Jesus, that's beautiful. And then they're like, they give you the game, and you're like, I get the demo of the game that's not even out yet. You guys are amazing. You know,
Yeah.
so...
They just added this figure mode, which people are like making memes and
Yeah,
comments
dude,
on,
like
dude.
it's so
sick.
much, especially coming from a game that's tradition. I feel like as a package overall, when it comes to the newer games that are released, Guilty Gear is by far top 2, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's back, it looks good. They made updates make a lot more sense. Them patching the game makes more sense. They gave you the DLC characters for free, so even if you didn't buy the game and you might buy it later, you can already have it. I mean, like. The
Put it on
package
PC.
of that game alone, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
too good.
it's too good. So it definitely gets my number 2. And of course, you know, I mean, I'm kind of biased, but I do love Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
And I haven't even got my character back, and it still got number 2. So
now we
something
have
to think
to
about.
kiss now, right?
My number 2, Tekken 7 FR.
Okay.
Available to play at a lot of different events this year. For the US, out in Japanese arcades, which, you know, some people have played on. Lots of people, I mean, obviously can do that, but yeah, super happy about that. The game had a full Tekken tour this year
Yes.
on an unreleased game. It
Yes.
looks amazing. It's the most beautiful fighting game out there, maybe besides
Slow-mo, huh?
Revelator. Slow-mo is the best invention for any fighting game, spectator-wise,
So good, man.
of all time. Before this slow-mo was in, Tekken was kind of hard to watch.
Yeah.
I think a pretty dry game sometimes, right? It was tough. I think now it's probably the best spectator game in all fighting games. I think it's just the best spectator game now. Tekken 7 is too good. So all those things, and hopefully they set a console release date being announced this month, I think, right?
So they said February.
February.
Yeah,
so
or something.
I mean,
like
it'll
that,
come out eventually. 2019 maybe, something like that, or whatever it is. 2025.
I mean,
Tekken 7 FR will come out on
The
consoles.
fact that it had a successful
It had a
tour,
Tekken tour when it's not even out in the US.
right, when it's not out is pretty impressive to be able to have all that happen.
So
for
to
that
me,
game.
Tekken 7 FR gets my number 2 spot.
Yeah, it does for me as well. That's my number 2 as well.
Okay.
Sick game, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick game.
Beautiful,
Akuma.
awesome game. Can't wait for it to come out.
Akuma, oh man. Oh, Mark says it will be January.
Oh, it will be January.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tekken
Do you have
7.
anything to add to Tekken 7?
That was nicely stated.
Okay.
Akuma.
Akuma.
He's fun, dude. How come he looks better in Tekken than he does in Street
I
Fighter?
don't know, he sure does, man.
They
Yeah,
spent their
Darn
time
sure.
on that character. Did you
He was
guys
pretty-
hear the voice of
Yeah,
Akuma at
yeah,
Japan?
Yeah.
That was the hypest thing ever.
I
I
also
can't
saw the
believe his
video-
voice.
Yeah, I also saw the video where I heard Steve
Yeah,
from the crowd.
And the whole crowd is dying laughing at this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And the best
The
part...
mics, man, they muffle. I can't tell.
Yeah, dude,
how-
another thing about that, we were in the crowd watching, and Anakin at one point did this baseball slide with Jack. The dumbest move, and it gets him killed, right? Like, it's like the stupid clutch moment, and he does the baseball slide, and Rip was so pissed. From the crowd, he yelled, "Go back to America!" Like, at Anakin, and the Japanese crowd loses it. They were dying. They're laughing so hard. At Rip, he's like, "Go back to America, you idiot!" And I was like, oh my god. So between that and Steve popping off, that made the Tekken 7 finals
Yeah.
thing. It was too good.
It's like I said, I mean, a lot of people are saying in the chat, like, it can't be Game of the Year because obviously it's not out yet, but, like...
It's
it
out.
was-
It's just
they
not
did
accessible to most people.
They did such
it's
a
out.
good job to let people play it, though, because it was available in a lot of
It was
different
available in
places.
a
I mean,
lot
like,
of
it's absurd that it's taken as long as it has.
Right,
I don't know what the deal is back
but
there,
the
but it
game was
definitely is
beautiful,
silly.
and
But
I-
it is out. It's
Right.
like available.
I do echo
not to most people.
one of
Yeah.
your statements, though, is that it's so much fun to watch now.
Super
Like,
fun.
Yeah, agreed.
I have never been able to watch Tekken before. In fact, you know, Tekken fans out there are going to kill me for saying this, but like Tekken was my let's take a nap or go rest during Evo
Oh,
time,
man.
you know, or
And a
like
good
go
4
do
hours to
something
go
else.
sleep,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
A lot of
so-
people did that.
Yeah,
It's not,
so-
you're not alone.
Hurts my heart, guys.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
true, though. A lot
sorry.
of
I'm
people did
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry, but
Now you got me.
yeah.
Now I'm watching low soccer kicks and mock punches and
Oh, man.
So
running
what was your
twos.
game of the
What's
year?
your-
Okay,
number
so
one.
my number one game of the year is Tekken 7.
Ah,
There it
Put
is.
Tekken 7
we
on
basically
there.
all have the same top 2, I guess. All right.
Because that game is beautiful, that game is just super cool, and like you said, it's just everything they've added to it has turned it from
Right.
something that was I have so much hope for Tekken 7 to be able to bring Tekken back to its former glorious status
Right,
right.
in the States and everything, and it's a beautiful game, and maybe I'm doing this a lot on potential, but look, I watched Master Cup last year. I
Yes.
watched Tekken 7, the World Cup this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of it was super hype. I'm so hyped for this game. I'm gonna be shite in this game too,
Oh.
but I'll still try it, and I definitely
teach you
will do my
Akuma.
best to learn. So there you go.
Can't wait to play Jack. Yeah.
Jack's good.
That's my dude.
Speaking of,
Debugging people. Anyway.
Tekken 7 is definitely my game
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, there it is.
With everything being said, if someone else had said it, I would have immediately been. I would have just glazed over this and act like it would not have been a thing. But the fact that what pushed Tekken 7 over the other games for me was the way it was set up by the people who created the game.
Yeah.
The fact that they had this tour. And not only was this tour just for show, it wasn't for publicity. I mean, it was, obviously, because that's what comes with it. But the fact is that it did exactly what it was set out to do, which was close that gap of international competition, which has historically plagued almost every fighting game, but one of exclusively is the Tekken franchise. You had Korea, you had Japan, that always stood out above everybody. Now, the main reason that happened was because people felt like we didn't get access to the game soon enough for it to make a difference. Not Tekken 7, not this time. The fact that they had the Wizard World Tours and the Tekken Tour that all kind of rounded up in this event itself was the smartest thing in the world. Because now you have people able to play the game. Even though it was not available everywhere. It's kind of like those movies that wins like Academy Awards, but they're only in select screenings. It's the exact same thing. It doesn't mean it's any good. Like
Sundance
Yeah,
Music
yeah,
Festival
yeah,
yeah, it's a
2013.
Sundance Music.
That was the best analogy.
I'm just
That
saying,
was
that's how
good
you
shit,
look. That's
good
how I
shit.
saw it. I was just like,
fair.
you might not be able to play this game, but
Right.
word of mouth is going to tell you just how good this game is.
Right.
That's not including what they're still doing to an arcade version of the game. They just announced like the characters get special rage arts and customizations.
Oh, yeah, King's new
and
rage art
King
looks
has
so
the Rainmaker
sick.
from New Japan Pro Wrestling,
oh,
and
it's
the
so
money
good.
rings. That is
It's so
crazy.
good.
That is so. And you
Very sick, man.
that's
Bullet Club.
small. That's
And the Bullet Club
small.
shirts?
They get Bullet Club shirts, dude.
For Jack and Brian, it's pretty good.
Cross promotion is one of the major things that sells one. Most amazingly is the fact that this is a customization thing that affects the players because you get to personalize those characters on an arcade front. And I know to some people it looks crazy, especially if you don't play the game. Like, items look crazy, but that is very specific to a game that is only available in arcades and something you have to think about while playing the game.
Right. I
But
think it's
overall,
awesome,
Tekken 7 Faded Retribution Game of the Year.
Like I loved watching Akuma in the little
The
little,
floaty thing, the
floaty
duck,
little-
the rubber
And the
duck.
shower, you mean?
Yo, with the,
The
shower?
raging demon
Oh,
shower?
and-
That's
oh,
hilarious.
the demon shower? That's
That's
crazy, man.
Or like when Nobi has the
the
shower on
demon
Dragon
shower,
Ball.
when he has it, it's like, oh man, it's
I think
sick.
that's great.
Like you don't get that
I'm all
kind
for
of
that.
customization from other games
It'd be nice if
anymore.
it still said the character name on it.
Yeah,
but, like,
so that's
okay,
yeah.
Console version, it'll be easier.
Dude,
but-
I even get like I was playing streaming Street Fighter and like Alex showed up in some costume and I was like, what the hell character is that? Like, I'm not a fan of the costumes, but I definitely love the game.
Yeah,
so.
I like the personalization aspect
Yeah,
of it. That's important to me too.
My number one game of the year,
Mhm.
Killer Instinct Season 3.
Okay.
That is my game of the year. It's actually it's in a tie. I'll get to what it's tied with in a second. Killer Instinct was
These
Dude,
new
it's
these
hot.
new
Hold on,
ones,
hold on.
so these
These
new
new
kids.
rules here.
no, but yeah, Killer Instinct Season 3 Game of the Year. They released. It's super cheap to get the whole game. They had it like $40. You get all the characters. It's over 20 characters, including all the guests and everything like that. I mean, it's out. It's available on PC. It runs like a dream. Netcode
That's true.
is 10 out of 10. By far, no other fighting game besides maybe Skullgirls and MK have even comparable netcode now.
Yeah.
Like before, and
I still
MK had
think
to
KI
fix
is the
theirs.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think KI is the best too. Skullgirls is awesome.
Yeah. For
The
sure.
game is out of control good. I'm super happy with it. They just announced today Kilgore came out, and they have a new half the money that you spend on Kilgore goes to tournament prize pool
That's
for
so
2017.
capless.
Yeah,
Yes.
with no cap.
Cap.
No cap. It
Yeah.
can be as much
So,
money
yep.
as you want.
Yeah.
So if you
They
can
said-
buy Kilgore 17 times in 17 different accounts and they'll all go.
They
Well,
all go.
Keats in their little stream mentioned that there are 6 million people who have KI accounts,
Yes.
and that if they all bought it, then that would end up with $30 million for the tour.
Yep.
Holy crap!
But that's
I mean-
what you have to think. KI
It
is
might not be likely, but like
no.
still, that possibility.
KI
pretty
is like
crazy.
in the top 5 most downloaded games on Xbox
Right.
One. Like it's like one of their most popular things. It's
For
a
sure.
super awesome game, really easy to get into. In-game tutorial is fantastic. The game feels awesome online. It's hard to say enough good things about it. They're adding costumes finally. That was a big complaint people had about cosmetics. Like the game is fantastic. It's available on PC now. It's too good. This thing is such an amazing game, and I played it today for the first time in a while, and I was like, man, the netcode is amazing.
It's
It
so
feels
good, for
so
sure.
good to play online and actually have good connections
For sure.
and not feel upset about stuff. Somebody jumped at me and I uppercut them, and I was like,
You could see it, right?
"What?"
You
Like,
can see it
I'm like, what just happened? I just uppercut you from downtown. I'm throwing low tiger shots and high tiger shots and with Kilgore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, it's
He's a
too
cool
good.
character.
The thing it was tied with was not Street Fighter V.
Uh-huh.
That was gonna be my number one choice, but I was like, I should actually give it to a game.
Yeah.
So that was gonna be my number one, and I was gonna just have KI and whatever, but I was like, I'll just give it to KI.
Right.
Yeah, my number 3 being that part of Street Fighter V, that
Right.
whatever. I wanted to make that joke. That was why I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But it really should have gone to KI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm
Your number one was Tekken also, right?
No, my
Your
number
number
2
two
was
was
Tekken.
Tekken.
Oh, so
Sure.
yeah.
What
Number
is
one
your
is
number?
Guilty
My number
Gear.
1 is Guilty Gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
right,
okay.
Yeah. It's the only game that nobody complains about. Like
That's
everybody,
yeah, that's
it's
true.
true. Like if you think about all the major games, there's something wrong with it.
Right.
Like everybody,
Uh-huh.
whether it's that the game is bad or the game outside of the gameplay is bad, or maybe you don't like how it looks, or maybe you think it's boring, or maybe you think it gets patched too often, or whatever. Like nobody has bad things to say about Revelator.
Damn,
And
that's true.
I don't really play it, but like hats off to them for that. You know, I'm really impressed. It's beautiful to watch. I love watching it. The reason I don't play it is that I respect. This is really true. I respect it too much to think that I can half-ass it. It looks like the kind of game that I'd really have to like spend a lot of time
Yeah.
to play,
Right.
sort of like be competent at. And I'd rather play like lots of games than like focus in on the one. But
Yeah.
You know-
the game itself it's great.
you know what's crazy? This is just like small tidbit. I don't know what it adds to what you just said. So I played Nage at Evo in my pool, right? Now he beat me, but one of the things I noticed that I didn't find out why they did it was the fact that they play on they play at a slower speed.
They
So they
put
go,
their input
they
lag
put the
one
input
frame
lag
higher,
higher, and I didn't know until I went to Japan and I started playing in arcades that it's definitely slower in arcades. So the fact that they were conscious enough to say, well, we know that this is a thing, and it's been a thing since like the PS2 era, where it's like the game was always faster on console. The fact that they thought about that, as well as like all those other things with the tutorials and whatnot, like that says a lot to me. So like, yeah,
That's up to them.
They care. So
It's clear.
all right.
Alrighty.
Okay, so take a break time then, and then when we come
Let's take
back,
a break.
we'll go to the next category, which is which is event, non-Evo event of the year, I should say.
There you go.
Okay, we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back. I'm just gonna sit here and watch this for a while, dude. I'm
What?
just gonna watch these finger
The
guns
hands.
for a while.
Oh, the finger guns.
Oh, the raining bullets.
Boom, boom. I love that when you were doing the JRPG when we were fighting the final boss.
You had the finger guns.
Yeah.
I had the whip.
Yeah. I don't know. Come back. That was pretty good.
He looks so. Look at him. Oh man, bad breath. Everybody's gonna get sick. Doom cast.
I'm going home and taking airborne.